All right.
Yeah.
We live, we in effect, we here. There's a lot going on in the world.
You smell me?
And when I say a lot, I mean a lot.
You know what? I think I can move this too this way.
Let me mute you up while you do that. Alright, now you on.
Alright. Yeah, we let hustle. Check something out right here on the grip. Okay.
There's a lot going on in this little space, you know what I'm saying?
Smell me?
Now, coming straight from the lion's den. You know when that bullshit going down. Your host.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the realest show on YouTube.
Smell me?
You dig? And I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, it's a lot of shit going on in the world today.
Big facts.
What you feel about that Jay-Z whole situation? What you think about that? Talk to me.
You know what, man? That's some shit that the media is using to control people's minds and thoughts. That's just that. You just can't automatically, how do you just automatically come with some allegation like that? Like the same thing with Bill Cosby. It's that I think he might have took a jail call from Diddy.
But I tell you one thing though, when they did the math and backdated it, it really showed that he was messing with a 15-year-old. How you feel about that one? Do you think that's true, or do you think they was capping?
Who's the 15-year-old?
Foxy Brown.
I heard her speak on it before. She was like, that's absolutely not true.
So, you telling me they wasn't doing the 1-2 thing?
I think it's easy to assume something like that. That's what music is about, like, you know, a narrative. And
yeah, everything's a narrative. We know that.
You know, and that's real life. And them times when that song came out, like say they was smashing, that would represent the narrative of like the drug dealer that pulls up to high school in his car to smash the high school chicks. You know how that shit was going on.
But that was happening.
Yeah, that was happening. That's what I'm saying. That would
Hold on, we got a feedback with your mic. Hold on.
Yeah, I see. I hear it going in and out.
I'm gonna check it. Try it now. Testing 1 2.
Yeah, we in the building.
All right. So it was on you.
Yeah, like that's that type of narrative. Like, you know, not saying that that's what's going on, but there was a time. Not even there was a time. I think I think that's how many people came of existence. You know, like when you study, like, not even study, when you just like use hindsight, relationships was kind of like that back in the day. The guy was like, I don't know.
Man, but you getting off track.
You
Did
said-
he fuck a 15-year-old young little wannabe rapper? That's what we want to know. Did he fuck that girl when she was underage?
I'm gonna say no, because I saw it in the interview, and she has something to gain from it. She could be like, yeah, and sue him right now, and you know. So she said absolutely not.
But she changed her life though.
That don't have nothing to do with the facts. That's like calling her a liar, and that's never been in her character. Like, you know, I never heard anyone call her a liar before, or I never even anyone called Jay-Z a liar before. And there's a lot of things that people could have called him out on being a liar for.
Yeah, but she became her after she became the ill Nana.
I think that's just the nature of the life of a rapper, an entertainment business. When you sign a record deal, you know, Jay-Z's
I agree.
You know, so a lot of people, there's rappers that become preachers. Like, you remember Apache, the guy that used to sing the song Gangsta Bitch? He's a preacher in church.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that became preachers. Hammer, you know, that's what you learn from.
Hammer became a preacher?
Yeah.
Wow, I ain't know that.
Yeah.
I ain't know that one.
Yeah.
You got me there, kid.
Well, they ain't the only ones. It's not only them. There's several rappers. Okay, we're gonna hit you with another one that you may be familiar with, Mace. You know, I said no.
Yeah, we know that.
That's the third one.
But he fell from grace though. He turned to a pastor and then he threw the towel. And I mean, how does that work?
You know.
He threw the towel and he came back. He started
rapping.
He started
again.
talking shit with Cameron again on their show.
Well, is that
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a sin.
Yeah.
No, it's sinful. But I'm just saying, like, from the doctrine, the way how the Christians move, right? The Christians, they feel like rap is of the devil. You understand what I'm saying? So if he came back to rap, what does that tell you? I mean, 1 + 1 is 2.
money is the root of all evil? That's what it tells me.
You know what's funny? Somebody the other day told me money is not the root of all evil. That man is the root of all evil.
That's the truth. That's the truth too. But what I'm saying is the when I say the root, I meant ROUT.
Got you. That's a good one. ROUT. That's really a good one.
You know,
I would have definitely looked at it the other way around.
you could exit off that route anytime. You know, it's just what you do. Some people use money for good things, and some people use money for bad things. It's where your mentality is at. You know.
All right, so I got a question for you.
Run it up.
So, if somebody goes to work for 30, 40 years of their life and all they got to look forward to is like, you know, a 401k or something like that, right? Does that mean they sold for money because they ran up their whole life, you know what I mean, turned their back on family members and all that for money? I'm just saying, do you think so or what?
Come again, brethren.
You didn't get that one?
Come again. If somebody, one more time, I want to make sure I'm comprehending I got the full question.
How can I say this then?
Come again.
Man, I'm high.
He said, is somebody like selling out if they work their
What I'm saying is, can you actually sell your soul in the name of work? Like work, you working.
Yeah.
Can you sell your soul?
Well, I ain't gonna say you selling your soul, but you could be ignoring your family or your responsibilities or things you're accountable for. Like you could just say fuck everything is work. People do wild shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
All the time.
But I mean, it's kind of crazy because I'm just thinking like, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like,
What you mean?
like, cause people work and they've been working all their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how does that work when, like, at the end of it all, are they blessed or did they sell their soul in the name for the money, the dollar?
Well, they definitely did not
Chopper.
sell their soul. Even if there was, okay, I got the question. Even if there was not responsible for every little thing and not accountable, they didn't really sell their soul. And the reason they didn't really sell their soul is because if they doing that, usually there's other people living under their roof. You see where I'm coming from? So, like, like what you saying, if they, cause like the question you asking is like asking the question like from the outside looking in, right? So to be from the outside looking in, you have to be in close perimeter.
Right.
So usually what the person can't be selling their soul because they helping to support you. So say a parent, like let's say so to speak, say a parent is going to work for fucking.
No, that's a good analogy.
Like
that's a good analogy.
a parent is going to work for like six. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you from both perspectives because I've experienced it. A parent's going to work for.
Hold on for a second. Hold on.
Okay, pardon that for a second.
No, we good.
Okay, but say you got like a parent, right? And the parent works 12-hour shifts. Cause you as a parent, you could work 12-hour shifts in two ways. Like example, somebody from New York City could work an 8-hour shift. There's really a 12-hour shift because you got to be at work at 9, right?
Right.
But to be at work at 9, you got to get up at 6 to leave the house by 7. Because with public like say you from Queens, right? And you work in Manhattan, right? It could take you an hour, not an hour, but you gotta get to the bus stop. That could take you a quick 5 or 10 minutes, right?
Right.
And then you gotta hop on the bus to get to the train station, right? That's another 15 minutes depending on the traffic, right? And then you gotta wait for the train. We're gonna call that 5 minutes. So a quick 30 minutes, and then you gotta take the train to Manhattan. And that's another 30 minutes, depending on where your stop is. You're gonna get off the train and walk, right? And then you're gonna get to your job a little bit early, right? You gotta get there a little bit early so you're not late. And then you gotta do the same thing going home. And going home is traffic. It's even more traffic.
That's what you call a routine for real.
Right. So someone that's being supported, like the children could be like, yo, my parents is neglecting me. They don't give a fuck. All they think about is their job, this, that, and other. But they're not even thinking about the motherfucking rent is getting paid. You might be hungry and be like, I'm fucking hungry every day, but you alleviating the fact that you ain't gotta sleep in the motherfucking cold.
That's a whole fact.
So
it really does make a lot of sense only because you're actually doing it. Greater cause means you're not selling your soul. So.
And the 401k is gonna go to who? Like people like when you logically think, people that have 401ks, like I'm gonna say way more than 60% of the time have wills set in place. Like if something happens.
Right.
So who's the money gonna go to? The money's gonna actually go to the people that's complaining if something happens. Like all the value, all the actual value, whether it's liquid or assets that you gain from the 401k or the 20 or 30 years of work, goes to your next of kin. Whether you have a will or not, you don't even have to have a will. Your kids automatically get that.
All right, so let me ask you this. So a rapper that's really taking care of his family with the chicken.
Right.
Does that mean he sold his soul? Just saying. I mean, hypothetically speaking, because he has to give so much towards the record deal. So I'm just trying to figure out like how does that work? You know what I mean?
I would say that's I would define that as sacrificing, because there's a, you know what? All right, speaking on that right quick, like you said the word rapper, right? So, no, what like notice with rappers is like black people, meaning that term is only created for them. Like everyone else is a music artist.
Right.
But if you a rapper, you a rapper. Like everyone else is a person. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if you black, you black. You the black guy. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like when you look at it like as being an artist and put your signature down, that's a sacrifice within itself. But there's reasons for that, but that's a sacrifice you're making.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. How do you feel about the do you think there's actually a connection between Sean Carter and Sean Puffy Combs? I mean, do you think there's a connection?
Business wise, yes. And I'm sure he might have. I can't. You know what? Because this is you know what I'm saying. First of all, you rocking with your man Loyalty, aka Elohim Estrada, and this is facts. Your man, Mr. Facts Over Fiction. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I go like myself, I've been to trial 3 times in my life. We ain't gonna talk about why. And then and with that being said, I watched a lot of trials like on YouTube. So when you deal with trials, you deal with what my man Big Hustle next to me deals with. You deal with reasoning, evidence, and research. You don't deal with the truth, because like I could be like, so someone could be like, yo, yeah, don't trust this guy, he's a criminal, right? Because of XYZ, how they feel, right? And then another
off you saying like off of a rapport.
Yeah, off of their report, off of their perspective.
Okay.
Off their perspective. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just perspective belongs to the person. So what I'm saying is Jay-Z might know things or heard things, but that doesn't mean that he was there to witness it. Like you know how in the streets, like you from 145th and like, so like if somebody catch a body, you like, yo, somebody come outside, they're like, yo, you heard such and such got killed last night?
Right.
And then you like, yeah, son, that nigga was beefing with son body him, this, that, like niggas know who did it. But nobody was really there. And they just assuming since he had beef with that person. And so that's what I mean. So like when you deal with the court is really like that. Court doesn't deal with truth or perspective. As a matter of fact, when they ask the question during cross-examination, if you say like what you think, it's stricken from the record, and they tell you not to do that.
Yeah, you can't speak out of turn.
Yeah, you could only use facts, like reasoning, evidence, and facts.
Let me ask you something real quick.
Run it up.
So, how do you feel about reasoning, evidence, and research? Like
I love it. That's a part of my life.
Dope.
You understand what I'm saying?
Let's give them a round of applause.
Word the mother.
Reasoning, evidence, and research. I call that that's what I call that. And let me tell you something. Let me figure out a lot of stuff that was practically impossible to figure out. What about you?
Yeah, that's how you became Mr. Uncover the Truth, and I became Mr. Facts Over the Fiction. You understand what I'm saying? That's how we became that. Using reasoning, evidence, and research. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing. So how I feel about that for me, that's a way of life. That's a culture that people should be living right now.
That's how you feel about how you eat fruit, like how you love fruit so much. That's how you
absolutely.
You feel about that like that.
Well, you just defined it. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm a fruitarian, but you can define me as that. But the
Right.
reason I became a fruitarian is because of reasoning, evidence, and research,
Right.
and that became facts over fiction.
All right, so let me ask you this. Let's keep bopping around. Let's try to pick his brain. I'm warming him up a little bit,
Run
y'all.
it up, run it up, run it
All right,
up.
so what you feel about religion? Let's get into that first. How do you feel about religion? Like, would you give yourself to an outside source?
You say me personally, like
What do you? Let's take it one thing at a time. One thing
Okay.
at a time. What's your partake on religion? Like, basically, if you fuck with it, explain why. If you don't fuck with it, explain why.
All right. Well, my take is like a yin and a yang. For me, I think religion.
All right, let's do the agreeable side first.
Run it up. Okay.
And then we
Okay.
do ours.
Religion can be necessary because humanity needs structure, or a certain part of humanity
Right.
needs structure. That's
Right.
just something people need.
Right.
Like
Right.
you need structure and routine in order for the world to function, right?
Right.
However, some people have structure and routine programmed into them, or they have the ambition and inspiration and motivation, we call that aim,
Right.
to have that structure and routine, to work towards it. So for me, people that really need structure and routine in their life, that they can't really provide that for themselves, they need religion because they could get off track.
Right.
But I'm going to say a guy like me, I'm not going to say I don't need religion, because I've had religion in my life.
Right.
You know, I had religion in my life more than it was introduced to me. I was probably religious.
All right. Before you go down that rabbit hole,
Run it up.
let's take that as the positive side.
Right.
Right. Like, why you fuck with religion?
Right,
And why it's needed.
Why it's needed.
As a stepping stool. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's go to the negative side. The yang. That was the yang. Let's go to the yang.
Okay, well, the yang of it is religion is definitely used to indoctrinate people,
Right.
and it's definitely used to demotivate people, to educate it demotivates people from educating themselves properly, because it's going to tell you that, hey, the prophecy is what you need to stick to and follow first,
Right.
before science and before logic, you know.
Right.
So and people know that there's a lot of people.
So you saying like it has like a culture, like a cult based type of foundations? What you saying? Like it's cult based?
I don't like to use that word because it has a negative stigma.
Allegedly.
It's a stigma attached to it.
Allegedly.
And I don't like to, say
Look.
cult.
This how you got to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about stigmatic stuff like that, all you do is just say allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We on the air right now. We live.
So like yeah, like
But you could deep dive. You know what I'm saying?
like the control. Okay, so like, all right, so the part of religion disconnected to money, that's crazy. The part of religion disconnected to God, this God is telling you to follow things that could be detrimental to you. Like, come on. Like it's right there in your face. But the thing is that religion is connected to family, and it's connected to friends. So it's like, so look, picture being like raised in a racist environment, right? Like, watch this. Picture being a Caucasian female, right? And you from a town that's like 80% Caucasian, and then the other 10% or 15% is like Latino, specifically like Mexican, right? And then you like black guys, and you have a black boyfriend. You now, so you know that thing that a young Caucasian woman would face in the household dating a young black man. That's like the same. It's like not the same thing, but it's like the same emotion that people express. And you hang with someone that's Muslim, or you date someone that's Muslim, or like you, or you're a different, like you work in an environment, like you Muslim and you work in an environment of Christians. It's the same thing, like dating out of your race. People treat you like that. You understand what I'm saying? They say it's little slick shit.
So you fuck with religion personally?
Not for myself, but it's part of my structure. Like right now,
So all right, let's get to this. We're deep diving.
yeah,
We're deep diving.
yeah,
I'm running it up.
Run it out.
What made you leave it alone? To the extent that you leave it alone. Cause you know they say you're not really supposed to remix shit. Either you're in or you're out. You can't just take. And I'm guilty of the same thing. I take what I want from religion that seems to make sense, and I don't fuck with the rest. You know what I'm saying? As far as like ritualistic behavior and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So
Big facts, big facts.
that's what I'm saying. I'm guilty of it too, but I'm just trying to get you to shed some light on your guiltiness.
So he says, what made me step out?
Yeah, what made you just leave whatever part you left alone? And we're going to talk about that.
All right, well.
About religion.
You know how, all right, gut feeling, right? So gut feeling is like when you know something is wrong, right? You know how you get that gut feeling, that's what they call it, right?
Right.
So I find that to be synonymous with things that I'm not in alignment with. So it's like on a different frequency. So it was several times. Okay, not once, not a couple, not few, not many. So several times I was in a church and I could feel the pastor's the pastor himself was not in alignment with what he was saying.
So basically, hold on. So basically, you telling me when you was in church that things felt like it wasn't right?
Well, I'm saying that I learned to identify that. That's one of my personal abilities that I'm sure other people have. The ability to feel that frequency doesn't match yours.
Right.
And that should not happen in a church, because you come to the church because everybody's on the same frequency with God. So why should the man that's talking about God not be on the same frequency?
Right.
As that's the whole purpose. But people stand there, they're gonna listen because he's reading from a book, and the book is to be respected. So, that's my take.
I dig it. So, do you think people need religion as of today, like daily?
Yes.
So do you think they're gonna be able to raise their vibrations with religion?
Some.
Elaborate.
I think people need religion because what we was talking about, structure-wise, like I said, like all right, like you got people, right, in prison, right, and you have no structure, right, and because you have no leadership growing up. So I have seen religion change that in people, that specific, the things that they lacking, they learn in the religion. So I'm gonna say yes. I don't want to sit here and however, everyone is not born, or everyone. Some people have leadership, and some people take the right path and take the right choices. Not saying that they do not need religion, but there's good people.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Let's take it back maybe about 27 years ago. I knew right after I got schooled how religion was infiltrated. I literally played myself. I should have literally kept moving forward and leave religion behind, because I knew about the dogma. I knew about the ups and the downfalls, and like you said, that gut feeling that you get when you go to try to praise God, and then you realize this doesn't even feel like God's house.
Correct.
This feels like a place where I don't belong.
Because people come in there for the wrong reasons. You know?
For real.
They come in to praise God. They come in to find God after making the wrong choices. But he's doing it purposely, you know? Like making a decision, like, all right, it's worth it for me. This is worth it for me, and then not working out. When you make a bad decision and you feel the ripple effect of that bad decision, where, you know, whereas it didn't work out, and then you continue. Like sometimes that ripple effect could last an hour, it could last a day, it could last a week or a month too. It also could last years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I feel like when it gets to that point, because you couldn't make the correction, you couldn't make the correction in self, then you're gonna go to the church and find God, when the real answer is in self. That's what they say, God is in you. The real answer is having that talk with yourself. But a lot of people don't have that. They're not ready to do that. They don't have that leadership, that confidence. You know, when I say leadership, they don't have someone to sit down and talk to them and be like, yo, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? They don't have you know, it's fear, anxiety of saying the truth, and how you say that, being criticized and feeling shamed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be like that. But like I was about to say, right? So when I realized that basically religion was full of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about all the religions, so I was just basically judging Christianity or whatever, you know, the regular Jehovah Witness, the typical religions that you run into on day to day. I ain't really was running into no Muslims at that time, and I was, but they was like 5%ers. They wasn't like Sunni Muslims or able to explain the deen. You know what I mean? They was all like broke apart doing their own thing by that time. But I was one of those that was just mad rebellious, like with my baby moms, when they was explaining to me like right wisdom, right knowledge, right understanding, when they was trying to explain stuff to me and use the Bible as like a tutorial or a guide to break things down with, to use it like to decipher. I was on some shit like, don't do that. Like I was going against them. I was feeling like they was being blasphemous until they sat me down and showed me like, no, we're using this book as a reference guide. You understand what I'm saying? And that's when I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought they was like putting blasphemy on Jesus and all that type of stuff. You feel me? So later on in life, when I started hanging around my cousins and them and realized that they was Muslims, but I seen them doing a lot of felonious bullshit. And I seen them saying, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. And it's like they was getting away with shit. Now, I'm not saying it was a test to that.
They're getting away with it because, not to cut you off, King,
right.
It's because interpretation could lead to the wrong perspective on things. How you interpret things, meaning like, and that's why I said religion could also be bad, you know,
What?
because religion is bad when people have their own spin on it because of how they interpret it. So like, I like to give examples. So like, for me, if I'm on the bus and I see you run up to somebody and shoot them, how I'm gonna interpret that? Like you a damn street thug and you a damn killer. I'm on the bus riding by. This guy just walked up and shot this guy
Right.
and kept going, right? Now, if I know the guy you shot and I know you and I know the guy you shot is a goddamn thief and he's a murderer,
Yeah, it hit different.
so I interpret it different. So my perspective is different. So that's
Right.
how, and the news could use that to control the narrative. So going back to what you said about Jay-Z and Diddy, that's easy how people interpret that, because people's interpretation of hip hop music is always okay. Who's the best at this, right? And like the best is not is who's the best, who has the biggest money, like who's the best popularity. So that's when the names like Diddy comes out as the best producer, and Jay-Z comes up as the best rapper, and that's it. And that's they they together like in that aspect, because they both have reached billionaire status
Right.
at one time or another. So they interpret it with people together. So the news could easily be like, yeah, like literally this could have just happened. We know that I was making a joke when I said that he took a jail call from Diddy, but literally, they could be watching. Diddy's lawyers being watched. Of course, his lawyers being watched, right?
I mean, they gotta have the most ultimate heat. Think about it.
Right. They
You
got-
offered
Go ahead.
50 million dollars. You offered 50 million.
But that's not a lot of money to him.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's why I said it's not a lot of money. But the fact they didn't want to take the money, to
Right.
me, just resonates as a high profile, serious offense, serious
The money.
indictment. Indictment's going on.
The
You know what I'm
money.
saying? I don't know how deep, but I know it's deep. Thick as thieves.
We never gonna know how deep it is, because he's never gonna come out and say the whole truth.
Right.
And and the people who's involved never gonna come out and say the truth, because they got money involved. If they say the whole truth, they may not get the money.
All right, let's not get off course.
Run it up.
Let's not get off course.
Run it up.
So, when it comes to this religious thing, I was told, or I overheard, let's just put it like that, I'm gonna just throw that in here, that inside the Bible, that God does all the killing. That the devil doesn't kill anybody in the Bible. That God does all the killing. How do you feel about that?
The way I feel about that is, I haven't read the Bible from front to back. I've heard that. So like, I gotta keep it facts over fiction. And if I had to comment on it, when people die, there's usually a reason. I mean, in the Bible, if what you said is true, if what you said is facts, because I haven't read the Bible front to back, but if you said what you're saying is facts, if God did all the killing, I'm pretty sure there's a reason stated why he did all the killing.
But it's just so funny that, because I mean, like when you dive a little deeper, you start to realize that everybody always say glory be to God, right?
Right.
But the devil also wants his glory too, and he does everything the opposite way that God does. And I'm not telling you, I'm just going over that on what I picked up on my travels. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like everything that God has laid forth before us to, go straight, he always turns everything around This is why I guess he wants the man to dress like a female and the female to dress like a man and encourages that.
I think God is not a good word to use because
Yeah,
that word.
I agree.
I
'Cause
think
it's just a backwards dog. I don't
Yeah.
understand how you going to even like refer to your creator or any creator of anything
that's what I'm saying.
as a backwards dog.
So I like to
That's like the
refer.
ultimate shit. That to me is the ultimate shit. Like, how did they pull that one off? Because you got to think about it. This is not back in the days no more. You can't pull that shit off on us that you pulled off on them 3,000 years ago, 500 years ago. You can't. It doesn't work anymore. So my thing is, if you really be smart and really use your head and think about the certain dumb shit that they done passed on us for generations, it's not adding up. No. It's not adding up. It's not making sense.
Well, that's why some people need religion because it's not going to add up, right? And say it doesn't add up, is that an excuse to just go crazy? That's what I'm saying.
Nah, you're right. I've heard about not doing that too.
Because once it doesn't add up, okay, say everything is fake. Say all religion is fake. And does that mean kill as you find necessary? Does that mean take as you find?
Definitely doesn't.
Because religion, none of this matters. So if religion doesn't matter, none of the structure it brings matters. So that's why I say it does matter.
Right.
You know?
Nah, I get it. I mean, it makes sense how the way you broke that down. I'm just saying, like,
perspective wise. You see where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like that all the time.
Get out of here.
What's up, shorty?
Oh, God. All right, man. We gonna conclude this episode. I gotta take care of this little guy. Be quiet. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let me get this boy out of this room. Say less.